So guys, for today's video, we're heading off to Mount Nebo in Jordan. It's located 40 kilometers southwest of Amman, the capital of Jordan. It is the place where God showed Moses the promised land. Cheers! Today we're going up to Mount Nebo, also called Siaga by the locals. It is 700 meters above the Jordan Valley. It is the place where Moses was shown the promised land by God, and is also the place where he died, although his burial place has not been found. Today Mount Nebo is an active memorial, a Franciscan monastery, and an archaeological site that attracts visitors from all over the world. Not only because of its historical and religious significance, but also because of the outstanding and artistic value of the architectural remains and Byzantine mosaics that it preserves and displays. Since the year 1932, Mount Nebo is under the administration of the Franciscan custody of the Holy Land. So guys, according to the Old Testament, when the Babylonians destroyed the first temple in Jerusalem in the 7th century BCE, the Ark of the Covenant was brought here to Mount Nebo. So guys, Indiana Jones got it wrong. The Ark of the Covenant was not in Tanis in the Well of Souls in Egypt, but was lost here in Mount Nebo after the destruction of the first temple. There is an entrance fee to enter this place. The entrance fee is 3 Jordanian dinars per person, which comes up to 18 ringgit. So guys, the 2 points to look out for on Mount Nebo is number 1, Moses Spring, 4 kilometers away northwards, and to the west, Israel, 46 kilometers away, the promised land. Now from this point on Mount Nebo, looking northwards, you can actually see Moses Spring. When the Israelites wanted water, Moses prayed to God, and God asked him to strike his staff on the earth, and then there sprung forth water for the Israelites. Hence the name Moses Spring. There's another place in Jordan where Moses also was supposed to have struck the earth to produce water. That's Wadi Musa near Petra. So guys, you can see that area of greenery there is surrounded by desert. That's the only area cultivated due to the water produced from the spring of Moses' blessing. So now we're going to visit the Book of Love Among Nations monument. This was created by Italian sculptor Vincenzo Bianchi in the year 2000. The shape of the sculpture recalls a book in respect of the peoples of the book, the Jews, the Christians, the Muslims, who all remember the prophet Moses here in Nebo. Right at the top you can see the inscription Pope John Paul II, because this monument is dedicated to him due to his visit in the year 2000. And the Latin words here mean one God, Father of all, who is above all. On a side view, these lines here reflect the pages of a book.
The messenger's message.
And the Arabic text here states, God is love, it is the appeal of heaven and the message of the prophets. If you look at the memorial stone here, it is also noted that Mount Nebo is also known as Siaga, the local name for Mount Nebo. Interestingly, the Armenian word for monastery is Siaga. So guys, now we are entering the Mount Nebo Interpretation Center. This center contains several reconstructions of antique mosaics, parts of building materials, cups, saucers, pottery, everything found during excavations at the site here. Now guys, just outside the Interpretation Center, under the stand, are preserved mosaics dated back to the 6th century. These mosaics are being restored by the Franciscan Archaeological Institute, and they originate from 2 chapels. The chapel of the priest John and the church of St. George. This large spherical stone kept here used to be the door of an old monastery in the old village of Falsa Lia. On 20th March in the year 2000, Pope John Paul II landed in Amman to begin his Jubilee pilgrimage to the Holy Land. From Mount Nebo, he looked upon the land which was promised to the prophet Moses. On this occasion, he planted an olive tree as a symbol of peace in honor of the people who now live in these lands, and this is the olive tree. Over here is a bronze sculpture done by Italian artist Gianpaolo Fantoni. It's called Nehushtan, the name given to a bronze image of a serpent on a pole. This was described in the Bible when God instructed Moses to erect a bronze image of a serpent on a pole so that the Israelites who saw it would be cured and protected from dying from the bites of serpents. The staff with a snake has long been the symbol of the medical profession. It originates from the story of Asclepius, the Greek god of healing. In fact, the symbol of the World Health Organization is also a staff with a snake. So from this spot, guys, you can see the Holy Land. So guys, apart from the Holy Land which you can view from this spot here on Mount Nebo, you can actually have a good view of number 1, Lake Tiberias, also called the Sea of Galilee, 106 kilometers away. Jericho, 27 kilometers away. The Holy Land, Jerusalem, the Mount of Olives, 46 kilometers away. And Qumran and the Dead Sea, 25 kilometers away. Well guys, if you prefer a map, then that's the Sea of Galilee over there. Jericho is over here. The Promised Land with Jerusalem over there. Qumran and the Dead Sea over here. All can be seen from Mount Nebo. So guys, it's from this spot, the view of the Holy Land from Mount Nebo, where all the places which I mentioned earlier could be seen on a clear, sunny day. So let us enter the Memorial Basilica of Moses, which was renovated in 2016. It is now a place of worship and protection for the archaeological remains here. You first enter the narthex or antechamber of the church, which is shown in orange here. On entering the basilica, you first pass through the narthex of the church or antechamber before moving into the church proper. We will first move to the left to visit the Diaconican Baptistry. So in this 3D model here, you see where the Diaconican Baptistry is situated. This baptistry is located in the south side of the basilica. It's built around 530 Common Era. The word diaconican is actually Greek and it means a sacristy where vestments, books and religious articles of the church are kept in. The Diaconican Baptistry mosaic, with its hunting and pastoral scenes of colourful, almost intact tesserae, is one of the most remarkable Byzantine mosaics in Jordan. It was discovered in 1976 by Father Michel Picirillo at this location. There is also a baptismal stone fountain fashioned in the form of a cross and coated with a thick layer of plaster surrounded by mosaics at this location. So guys, you can see here the central mosaic of the African fauna and the baptismal font. So guys, this is a close-up view of this central mosaic of African fauna. Looking at a close-up of one of the figures, you can see that the tesserae were sorted carefully to different shades of color and were applied to create an illusion of three-dimensionality in the figures. Now let's visit the Theotokos Chapel located on the right side of the church. This chapel, built in the 7th century Common Era, was dedicated to Mary, the mother of Jesus, and these mosaics are preserved since that time. The semicircular raised up area here was where the altar was located for the chapel. So let's walk through the central nave of the basilica towards the altar. Notice this large braided cross on the right here. It's drafted in black on a white background. This mosaic panel is the oldest of all the mosaics in this memorial church here. Now notice the central nave with the altar in the background. The apse here has 3 stained glass windows, with the middle one depicting Moses standing under the brazen serpent with Aaron and Miriam. Finally, we see the Southern Baptistry at the north side of the Basilica. And the mosaics found here date back to the 6th century Common Era. So guys, that was our trip to Mount Nebo. Let's head off for lunch now. So after a walk around Mount Nebo, we were taken to a nearby restaurant called Jasmine Restaurant for a buffet lunch. It was an interesting buffet. We started with soup as seen here, and then we had some chicken preparation, followed by rice, of course. There was some gravy. There was some pasta too, a potato mixture, some lamb, stir-fried vegetables. Over this side, they had some pita bread and loads of salad for you to enjoy. And of course, finally, there was a table with various desserts for us to try. The lunch spread was quite standard in terms of taste. Let's ask Raja's opinion about the desserts.
Better ask the ladies, they will know better.
You want your opinion first?
No, average lah bro.
Average?
No.
No?
Average will not know for me. Okay.
Okay. This red stuff is nice.
It's like a pudding.
Red pudding.
But not very sweet.
I think the two best desserts here is this long wafer shaped roll and this sesame covered biscuit. This one? Tastes like eating the wafer biscuit at home with the chocolate top, inside. And this tastes like your butter cookies with sesame coating. The two best desserts here. So there's one more dish, the dessert, the pudding dessert, reddish pudding. Very soft and fluffy. And sweet. Not bad. It tastes a bit like this panna cotta.
But according to you,
What?
Eat.
Why?
What is this like?
Sweet. Soft jelly.
Like Turkish delight.
Yeah, it's a major influencer.
After lunch, we were taken to this mosaic factory where we were shown how mosaics were made.
All from Tariq. How you guys doing?
Hi.
How are you? My name is Tariq. This right here is the foundation.
So Tariq is telling us that this factory is like a foundation. They help disabled people and single mothers and people with disabilities to find gainful employment. You can see that the mosaic comes from these marble strips which are cut into small pieces and then used.
They get the stones, they cut the stones, and then they cut the stones to small dice, as you see here. Then they get piece of wood have to be smooth. They tie piece of cloth to it, and then they use water and wheat flour and cornstarch. They don't use no glue. Once it's dry, it will hold the stones. After that, we get wooden frame, we place it on top, and we fill it up with cement. Once we fill it up with cement, we leave it for 1 week to dry. Then we take the whole piece and flip it over. Now we unstable the top piece, remove it, leave us with the cloth. How to do the cloth? Remember, we use wheat flour. What? Hot water, it gets soaking wet, and then it comes off. Once it comes off, it will give you a nice piece of cement, and this is how smooth it is.
Wow.
Now this is the front.
Nice, eh?
Yes.
So after that interesting lecture, we were taken into the shop where all these mosaics were for sale.
I know we ship it for you. I'll show you about shipping. Okay, all tables are waterproof. Here is the pieces how they look when they are dry. When they are wet, they look this color. Thank you so much.
So guys, I hope you enjoyed the trip to Mount Nebo in Jordan. Till the next video. Cheers!